Without realizing, they'd been holding their breath. All three exhaled shakily and glanced at each other. A muffled male voice broke the silence.
Ah, shite. Hello?
A final few footsteps reached the entrance above them, and the voice now echoed down the stairs.
Oh, it's the squirrel dude. Anyone down
The
there?
three kids shuffled to the corners without a peep. As he began to descend the stairs, the man's voice punctuated every new step. Thump,
Woohoo!
thump,
I'm not here to hurt anyone.
thump,
I'm just here to help. Just
thump. At the bottom step, the man paused, squinting to search the room for signs of life.
huh? Guess there's
Rollo
nothing.
shifted suddenly. Luca gave him an intense, chastising look and whispered through clenched teeth.
Wow. Don't.
It was too late. Rollo was already inching toward the stairway. He screeched as he charged toward the shadowy figure.
Lemon chicken coop!
With all his weight, Rollo tackled the man to the ground.
Rollo? Mysterious creepy man? Anyone there?
From the dark corner, they saw something move.
Well, I didn't know if I had it in me. But there was only one way to find out. Holy crap, Rollo, that was awesome! Wait, did you just kill that person?
Luca scrambled to the hunched figure on the ground. Pressing his fingers to the man's neck, he sighed with relief.
You sure clobbered him good, Rollo. He's knocked out cold.
As Beck flicked back on the light, Luca and Rollo both gasped in stereo.
Mr. Tolliver?
Chapter 7. The Interrogation of Hiram Tolliver.
Man, I'm flying through chapters now.
Still unconscious, Mr. Tolliver slumped heavily in a shoddy old chair. His hands were bound with rope, his feet tied with some loose string.
Dang.
The kids huddled in a circle, discussing their plan.
It's serious business.
One thing was certain, they couldn't just let Mr. Tolliver go. They needed to know what he was doing in Luca's house. After some deliberation, it was decided.
They'd run the classic good cop. I don't have the, crap, I don't have the proper stuff. All I have is chill. Oh, I'm gonna have to go back.
They'd run the classic good cop, chill cop interrogation.
It's not gonna do anything. I'll handle this. Just gotta play it cool.
Luca walked calmly to the light switch, flicking it off and on a few times. Mr. Tolliver shook his head, gathering his wits.
Golly, I sure got my bell
He
wrong.
looked over to find Luca, who returned a calming grin.
Sorry, Mr. Tolliver. This was all a big mistake. Luca, what's going on here? Why do you have me strapped down? No one's fault, really. Rollo just got a little startled. Rollo's here?
Rollo and Beck emerged from hiding to give a timid wave.
Well, alright. Mistakes happen. You kids gave Hiram a good scare. Let's just get me out of these ropes and call it even.
Luca glanced over to Rollo and Beck, who replied with skeptical looks.
Mr. Tolliver, why are you in my grand's basement? I'm here to help, of course. Help with what? What's my gran up to? She'll just cut me loose, I can show you. How do I know we can trust you?
Mr. Tolliver exhaled with disappointment.
Luca, have I ever done wrong by you? No. And since your gran moved to town, haven't I been nothing but welcoming? Yeah. Why would I turn my back on your family now? It's just... this stuff seems pretty weird. A board with names of people from town. An archive of my dad's old disturbing patient notes.
Luca gestured to the corner.
Barrels of explosives. I can explain everything. You just need to untie me. You deserve an explanation.
Luca looked again to Rollo and Beck. This time they shrugged. Luca began to slowly loosen the bindings. Mr. Tolliver gently rubbed his wrists.
That's a good lad. This will all make sense in time.
He edged imperceptibly toward the stairs as he spoke.
He's gonna lock you down there. You see, this town has secrets, Luca. Tackle him again! A very dark past indeed.
Before the kids had even noticed his movement, Mr. Tolliver was at the light switch.
A past that must be brought
He
to.
punctuated his final words by flicking the switch and rushing up the stairs.
Light! Now you're locked in there. Son of a...
Beck darted to the wall and turned back on the lights. It was too late. Rollo confirmed what they all heard.
He just locked us down here.
Mr. Tolliver's muffled voice came from behind the door.
I wasn't lying, you know. This is for your own good. You kids just keep tight down there. Let the adults
They
handle
looked
this.
bewildered at each other.
Play it cool, huh? Not now, Beck.
They
Yeah.
heard the staccato thump of quick steps exiting the house. The kids looked down in resignation. This isn't how it goes in Hank Atomic. For some reason, they'd always assumed it was up to them to save their town. Luca opened his mouth, hoping to conjure some magical words to make this right. Only a hollow croak escaped. The end. Well, we certainly aren't going to find a grand resolution to our tale locked in a basement. Back to the drawing board.
Okay, so now it really makes you go through all the different options, kinda, to find everything. So back to here.
Luca began to respond, but the sky answered for him as the clouds above began to rumble with ominous thunder.
Sure we can make it home before the storm kicks off?
Luca surveyed the roiling clouds.
I'd say the clouds are good. Maybe you should stay here and I'll just make a break for
At
it.
that moment, the heavens opened up, unleashing torrential rain.
Care to recalculate those odds? You're inside, you two, before you catch cold. Oh, we can't go to see Rollo now. Luca and Nellie will keep trying to reach your gran on the phone. In the meantime, you two hold tight. Sorry, not much to do up here. Most of my stuff is still in the boxes. Mind if I poke around? Be my guess? Yeah, poke around. We gotta find charms.
Luca bent down to examine the bouquet of wilting flowers. Judging by the odor, they were well past their prime.
Pungent.
He flipped
Okay.
open the attached card.
Happy trails from Coach Walker and all the Fairview Hondors. Well, you weren't kidding about poking around, huh? Oh, sorry. Is this from your old school? Most recent one, yeah. Some schools gave me going away cards. Some did flowers. When you're really trying to feel good about themselves, they do both. Still, you've moved a lot. Yeah, that's the thing with having a brilliant parent. There's always a better job somewhere else. These flowers would last longer if you put them in some water. That sort of thing I would do if I cared. Well, you cared enough to keep them is all. Oh, wow. Will and I have a radio just like this at the treehouse. Probably not exactly like this one. The mom and I tore the whole thing down to the bolts. Fit it with some state-of-the-art vacuum tubes. She seems pretty awesome. She gets carried away sometimes. I think she feels guilty for working too much. So when she does have time for me, she showers me with high-tech overcompensation.
Luca flicked at one of the toggles.
Bet you can get all sorts of stations on this. Not out here in the boonies. You wouldn't believe the stuff I could pick up back in the city. Around here, it's all farm reports and static. Aw, shucks. Telescope.
Luca squinted into the eye hole of the microscope.
Our microscope. Luca squinted into the eye hole. This looks wild. What is it? Gum. Gum.
Luca adjusted the slide with his fingers to get a better look.
Unpacking the structural integrity of gum with increasing amounts of chewing. Chewed that one for 47 days. Ew!
Luca wiped his hand off on his sweater and gave a nervous laugh.
It's weird, I know.
Beck looked down, timidly tapping the ladder with her feet.
You think it's weird, don't you? A little. But weird can be cool. Luca, can I ask you something? Of course. Sick jump. This superhero landing. Dang, didn't that hurt? I'll be honest. That hurt more than I expected. Well, at least you look cool doing it.
Beck took a moment to watch the rivulets of water running down the window.
Do you ever feel alone? Like, even when people are around? Well, Rollo can be pretty absent-minded sometimes. I'm serious. Does it ever feel like your family doesn't care what you want? It didn't used to feel that way. I know Gran loves me, but sometimes when she looks at me, it's like she's looking at a problem.
Luca took a deep breath, exhaling slowly.
I know the feeling. How do you deal with that? I guess I haven't yet. The one thing my dad told me when I was little, don't hold a grudge, especially against yourself. If you try to hold it all in, you're gonna pop. So then, what do? And you don't know what to do. Dad never got to that part. Something I figured out on my own, though. You gotta do something. Anything. Here. What are you doing? I don't know. Something. We're gonna register our complaints with the storm. Listen here, you miserable universe. Stop jerking me around. I just want things to go back to the way they were. Everyone tells me it's gonna be alright. That things are gonna change.
Luca let out a feral scream that echoed into the night.
Every time something changes, everything gets worse. Screw this town. Whoa. Let me try. Moving sucks. I hate it. I hate that. Why can't I just deal with it and be happy for my mom? Why can't we just stay somewhere? Brah!
Her voice dropped to a trembling whisper.
I just want to be a normal kid.
Beck brushed off her shirt and straightened up.
There. Wow, I actually feel a little better.
As abruptly as it began, the storm abated.
Thanks, I needed that. Me too. I should head out before the rain starts up again. Sure, I'll walk you out. See you and Rollo at the festival? Sounds good. Luca, don't let the universe jerk you
Beck
around.
gave Luca a light thump on the arm before heading in.
Ooh.
Chapter 5. Friendly Feud. The air was heavy with the hard rain's residue, the smell of wet things. Despite his dreary surroundings, Luca felt at peace. He'd never shared those details about his dad with anyone. Not even Rollo. But it's not like this changed anything. Rollo was still his best friend. Adding Beck to the group would help balance things out. Everything's better in threes. This is what Luca told himself as he headed to the treehouse.
Catch up with Rollo at the treehouse. Okay.
After the foul harvest destroyed their wealth and reputation, the Valentines shuttered off their estate from the rest of town.
Interesting. Okay, so now what's gonna go down at the treehouse? And like the next day. We need to be able to like do bad cop. We need to like the word for
The
bad.
Valentine mansion loomed over every other building in town, both
Howdy.
figuratively and literally.
Art of charm for bad. Oh hey! Batgirl. Hey Dawn. Tracking down a lead? You bet. I had a juicy new rumor. Turns out when Sharper Valentine died, he left behind a peculiar last will and testament. Peculiar? How? He didn't just give his kids an inheritance, there were conditions. Like what? Documents stipulated that Harris had to take on a child as her ward. A kid our age who just showed up to town one night with a lawyer. Solomon? Bingo! So Harris was forced to take care of him? Yep, or she would have lost everything. Why would Sharper care so much about some random kid? Rumor has it old Sharper sowed some wild oats. That explains the way Harris treats him. Poor Solomon. How did you find all this out? A good reporter never reveals her source, Luca. Whoa. Oh my god, everything's just... so much more involved than I expected. I better not dilly-dally. Gotta get to the treehouse. Okay. Why can't I interact with the glowing mushrooms? What if that's always glowing and I just never saw them at night? A sus phone. Oh, Nuncreed's not here this time. And the clipboards. No one's out here either. He met his old friend's eyes and was greeted with nothing but ice-cold anger. Heavens! There's no time for fractured friendships. Why does she, like, know the future? We're not dilly-dally. Okay. Excuse me, what are you doing? Just locking up for the night, sir. Oh, wonderful. I can only assume this means all festival preparations have been completed ahead of schedule. Not exactly, sir. The storm has set us back a bit, but it's getting late, so we all decided to. You all decided? Yes, sir. I was unaware that your job involved deciding things. We're all here at the Perennial Harvest because we believe in creating a better future, yes? Yes, sir. Very much, sir. Do you want to be the one to tell this town that we failed them? No. Did we give up because there was a little rainstorm and we all got sleepy? Of course not, sir. Good. Then it's decided. Yes, sir. We'll work till the task is done. See that. You do. Our harvest awaits. I'm not in that building. What's gonna happen at this festival? Something bad. Something real bad. Investigate everything. Let's go and use... Yeah, we got some new things. So, pungent. We got one more.
Luca wrapped a twig of thyme around the hook. Some fish have refined taste.
Let's see what this one gets us. I can watch. Property of Sharper Valentine. Figures. If he had his way, property of Sharper Valentine would be written on everything in this town. Should we give it back to him? He may not even want it back. The man's got a contentious relationship with time. We'll keep it here in case he ever wants to pick it up. Alright, we got one extra thing. Roller, are you still up there? I'm sorry, Rollo isn't accepting visitors at the moment. Come back, never.
Luca had only ever heard him speak in this stiff yet gentle tone a few times, and it always meant one thing.
You're upset. Oh, what makes you say that? Because my best friend abandoned me for no reason? I didn't abandon you. I'm just a little late.
Rollo scoffed.
The rain held me up. Liar! You weren't even home. What? The storm got bad and I got worried, so I went looking for you. Imagine my surprise when I made it to your house and you weren't there. I hadn't made it back yet. I'm not a fool, Luca. It didn't take all day to live for some jam. No, the storm rolled in out of nowhere, and I got stuck after dinner at
Luca
Beck's.
stumbled on his words, knowing he'd said too much.
Beck? Dinner? What the heck is a Beck? She's a new kid in town. She's actually kind of cool. You'd like her. She needed help convincing her parents that she'd made new friends. New friends? I spent all day waiting for you, and you were off making new friends? It's not like that, Rollo. You know, while I was waiting, I made some upgrades to mission control. I was gonna be a surprise, but you took so long, the storm knocked it all down. It's like you knocked down our friendship. What does that even mean?
Luca became instinctively angry in response. Both boys were now shouting across the distance.
It means you're a bad friend. You don't care about me. Of course I care, you ass. Knew you'd get in trouble waiting so late for you. But I kept my word. 'Cause that's what friends do. Oh wow, what a noble sacrifice you made. Easy for you to say. Your gran doesn't even care. You can't stay out as long as you want. And you wouldn't even get in trouble. Seriously? You're acting like I chose this? If that's what you think, maybe you're the bad friend.
Rollo's tone changed to a calm, yet more intense anger.
Maybe Pa's right. Storms bring more than water. This one brought out the real Luca. Stop quoting your pa's nonsense like it means anything. Yeah, well, at least my pa is still around.
The words hung in
Damn!
the cold night air.
Damn!
Rollo's stomach dropped, knowing he'd crossed a line. But it was too late.
Luca, Good night, Rollo. Dang it. Yeah, this is definitely the bad end. With the storm coming in. What did we do?
Luca dug through his old stuff, not even sure what he was looking for.
It's a ball. Okay. Rollo. I just kicked the ball around. What a jerk. Call me a bad friend. Ooh, I'm Rollo. Look at me and my amazing family. Guess I'm just never supposed to make new friends. Weep. Luca,
Gran cooed gently from the hallway.
you slept straight through breakfast. Luca, are you alright? I'm fine. Just don't feel like getting up yet. Okay, I'll leave this oatmeal by the door. I gotta run out and take care of some things. Okay. Are you back later to check in? Sure.
Luca just wanted to be alone. He waited to hear the sound of the front door closing.
Bet Rollo's still gonna go to the festival. It's gonna be miserable. If Rollo thinks I'm still going to the festival with him, he can shove it. Get back in
Luca
bed and be
dozed off
sad.
again.
Luca, I see you didn't eat your oatmeal. I wasn't hungry. Well, just in case you get hungry, I'll leave a sandwich here too. Thanks. Willow came by. What did he say? He wanted to talk to you. What did you say? I told him you weren't feeling well. Good. So your plan is to just sit in your room all day? Pretty much. Well, I need to pop away again for a minute. If you decide to end your pity party and go outside, I think it'd do you some good. Noted.
Lucas still couldn't bring himself to go out. Besides, if he ran into Rollo, he'd have to actually confront the situation.
There's never anything interesting at the festival anyway. His homie's gonna get exploded, isn't he? Wait, can I kick that up there? Yeah.
The Adventures of Hank Atomic.
The complete first volume.
Luca carefully opened the cover and began to read. Rollo had received it for his birthday, a special hardcover edition with behind-the-scenes commentary and bonus art. Rollo cherished it, but asked that Luca keep it at his house. Luca wasn't sure if it was because Rollo didn't trust himself with it, didn't trust his sister around it, or just wanted an excuse to come hang out at Luca's more often. Whatever the reason, Luca didn't mind. But it had stayed right there where Rollo had stashed it ever since. Now, at the foot of his bed, Luca lost himself in the pages. He'd read it all before, but at this moment, it somehow felt sentimental. He was well into issue number 5 when he heard soft footsteps from the hallway.
Luca? My little friend came to see you. A girl named Beck Modwell. She said you met yesterday? What did she say? Is she here? He was just dropping by. I told her you weren't taking visitors today. Oh. She seems nice. Yeah. You had a fight with Rollo, didn't you? Can I come in? Maybe later. Alright then. I'll leave dinner on the kitchen table, in case you want a bite before
Without
bedtime.
realizing it, Luca had pouted away the entire afternoon. He once again felt the weight of it all, and allowed his weary eyes to close. Luca stood in a vast black expanse. He looked up at his father standing beside him. Walt was working a straw at the bottom of a fountain glass, trying to collect the last bits of milkshake. Dad, where are we? Taking a final loud gurgling sip, his father peered up from the glass. He jangled the straw playfully with a warm smile, then lifted the empty glass as if to point into the darkness. The source. Luca's eyes followed his father's gesture. In an instant, he was sitting in front of a blazing campfire. Across from him sat a large figure in a yellow hazmat suit. The figure's voice was a scratchy echo. Well, if it isn't the man of the hour. Make yourself comfortable. Luca held his shivering hands over the flame to warm himself. It doesn't work that way here. Their yellow-gloved hand pointed to the base of the flame. It's a cold flame, see? Luca peered at the base of the fire. It wasn't wood that was burning. It was Beacon Pines itself.
Oh crap.
Tiny buildings, freezing and crumbling as they were consumed by flame. Luca could see small shadows moving in the burning city. People.
Oh no.
Luca leapt to his feet. We've got to help them! The figure gave a dismissive wave of their hand. Why waste energy helping people who can't even help themselves? The figure bent down to examine the panicked crowd as they desperately tried to stop the flames.
Is this like Premonition dreams or something? Because we found the explosive barrels in the other one.
They only care about what's right in front of them. Not like us. Luca's voice was a trembling whisper. Us? The figure slowly stood up, grabbing its helmet with both hands. With a jolt, and a twist, the suit emitted a gasp. A cloud of torpid mist escaped, slowly revealing the face within. Luca's own face looked back at him, older, worn, distant. The sensation was oddly familiar, as if he'd caught his own reflection by surprise in the mirror. The doppelganger smiled. "I tried to help once." He gestured towards his face. "And all it got me was this." Lucas staggered back. "You aren't me." Luca felt a hand catch his shoulder. His father was there again, beside him. "Every choice sets us on a path. This is the end of one of your paths, son." Luca watched his older self shake its head ruefully, its face twisting into a cruel grin. "Welp, Dad, if you wanted him to see this, far be it from me to disappoint."
What is going on? This is like weird future vision? What is this?
Luca watched in shock as the figure took a confident step forward and plunged into the flames. In a flash of cold light, he was gone. What does all of this mean? Luca felt a reassuring squeeze on his shoulder. Just remember, why we choose matters just as much as what we choose. Luca woke up to see a hazy figure at the foot of his bed, silhouetted in the morning sun.
Mom? No, dear. It's only Gran.
Luca rubbed his eyes. The kind, concerned face of his Gran came into focus.
How are you feeling? Fine. Anything you want to talk about? I don't feel like talking. That's just as well. How about you sit there and listen a bit? Whatever you and Rolo fought about doesn't matter. But
Gran silenced Luca with a gentle pat on the leg.
Fights between friends happen. What was said doesn't matter. The important thing is, that's not the last thing you ever say to each other. But he said stuff about Dad. Well, do you think he meant it? No. He was just mad. And did you mean any of the things you said to him? No. Good. One must appreciate friends in their best moments and accept them in their worst. Accept. Now get your little butt out of bed. The festival's today. You don't want to miss that, do you? I guess not. Seems like a good opportunity to make amends with Rolo, doesn't it?
Luca gave a reluctant nod.
To buy him a corn dog and apologize. But he's the one that... What did I just say? Buy him a corn dog. That's a good boy. Everything's better with corn dogs. I need to get going now. Get some last-minute festival business to take care of. I'll come find you at the fountain a little after lunch. All right. I love you, Luca. Love you too.
Luca took a deep breath.
Okay.
Chapter 6. Through thick and thin.